Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of Reality Derby. It's the Blood Moon,
And it
Denton.
was a bloodbath. Three
Yes.
torches snuffed.
Yeah, Jeff made a lot of hyperbole, I guess is the good word about this.
He's been really going in this season. There's too much talking from Jeff. I mean, maybe they're trying to stretch out the 90 minutes. Maybe this has always been
Hmm.
how he speaks, but I feel like he's going the extra mile this time, and the episodes feel a little long.
Well, we will talk all about the Blood Moon episode of Survivor, and we will also show you our exit interviews. We had 3 eliminations. We lost Camilla, we lost Genevieve, and we lost Colby, a legend.
You know what? I just said last week that Camilla was my dark horse to win.
You were wrong.
And here she
You were wrong.
goes.
Okay, well, let's go to the exit interviews, and then we'll see you on the other side. Well, we are here with Camilla, one of the 3 victims of the Blood Moon's wrath. How would you sum up this twist? Because Jeff Probst was very, very enthusiastic about it.
I mean, oh no, we had to get rid of 3 people somehow. Let's just draw rocks. Honestly, I thought it would have been more cool if maybe they didn't have enough stools for it, but if we had 17 people at tribal council and you vote for one person and you vote for one person and then you think it's over, but he's like, no, we're voting out another person, and then we're voting out another person, and then everyone has to suffer and wait through 3 tribal councils. I thought that would have been cooler. Then that might
That
have maybe helped me a bit more.
I
Maybe.
just got chills. That would have been so good.
I know. I know.
And luck is a big part of this show. And obviously, if you had been in a different group, if you'd pick a different rock, you'd probably still be on the island, right?
I mean, I even with 48, I would say like luck. And I've been telling people this since even after I did really well in 48, I was like, no, I'd say like Survivor's 90% luck, and maybe you can control like 10% of the things. And I was saying that even when I did well on 48. I mean, I got tribe swapped into a minority on 48 and I somehow survived because I got lucky enough to have an advantage with me. But yeah, I guess, I will say in that immunity challenge, us 3 women were up there significantly longer than the last person who fell. I didn't immediately drop off after Christian. We were up there for a while. So maybe if I wasn't with Chrissy and wasn't with Steph, maybe I would have had individual immunity. Who's to say?
Yeah. We need a different, a timeline, a multiverse to see what would have happened.
Yeah. One where
Um,
we all survive.
Jonathan obviously turned on you, and you said something to the effect of drag that man through the mud. Did he make the wrong move for his game?
We'll see. I mean, I do think I'm not sure how much this has been coming up in interviews, but it was very very openly talked about on the island that there is this pregame alliance. We were calling it the Zoom alliance. Turns out they didn't use Zoom; they were using like actual phones. Um, but Jonathan, Chrissy, and Steph's names came up as members of that alliance, and so I was like, if Jonathan's smart, like part of me was like, I hope this isn't real, and I hope this was a lie. But part of me was like, okay, if they know it's open knowledge, it would be smart of them to get rid of one of them to signal to the other 15, whatever, 17 people that, like, hey, I'm not locked in. I'm willing to play this game with anyone. And so I was kind of hoping that would happen, and then it didn't. And that's why I looked so shocked, because I was like, oh, this is confirmation that when Mike White told us about the pregame alliance, like, it's real. It's real.
Interesting. Who did you have any like pregame friendships or allies that you brought into 50?
Yeah, so I have like pre-existing friendships with both Joe and Kyle, and I think everyone who played Survivor has some pre-existing relationships, pre-existing friendships. When I talk about pre-gaming, I'm not talking about that, because that's just like, hey, we're friends. I'll look out for you, you look out for me. What I heard about this other alliance was like strategy calls were happening and how to navigate the game together and who to target. So I was like, okay, that's completely different.
Hmm.
I followed the rules. When CBS called me and sent me an email about leaks happening and how they trusted us to maintain the integrity of the game, I listened and I said, I won't talk to anyone. That's
Mhm.
fine. Now I know it doesn't matter. So if any of you guys are on an upcoming season of Survivor, slide into my DMs.
Well, last week Angelina made some comments to the press about how the edit is not fairly showing female voices. I'm curious, what is your take on this issue?
Yeah, so I think I remember someone's got a Survivor fact checker actually has all the stats about the confessionals and stuff, and I was pretty low down there. But I don't think like I don't think that's that's because I just didn't make it that far and I was not really relevant to the story that they wanted to show. Um, I actually had to explain this to a former Survivor player last night who they tried to ask my opinion on. They're like, "What do you think?" I mean, I think that there's just 24 people and everyone's getting a lot of people are getting under edited. And he's like, "You really think Survivor's making a conscious decision to not include women?" I'm like, "Nobody said this was a conscious thing. People are saying that it's unconscious." And I'm like, I was surprised I had to explain that to someone on this season. Also, I was told I met Johnny Fairplay last night, and he told me that me talking about this and reposting Angelina's videos, I'm ruining Survivor 50. He said that like me and Angelina are both ruining the season by talking about this. So I will refrain from saying more
Gotcha.
because
I mean, you don't want
yeah.
Johnny Fairplay on your bad side.
Oh no, I would not. Yeah, no. Oh no, what's he gonna do? Try and wrestle me? I don't. Oh no. I don't.
You mentioned Joe earlier, and at the beginning of the season, Joe mentioned, I think it was at a tribal council, that he's still scarred from season 48 when Kyle and you betrayed him. How did you feel hearing him admit that?
Yeah, I mean, I actually heard about it in the game when I got swapped with Devins and Suri. They were like, Camilla, you need to check in on that man once the game is over because I think like you guys really did a number on it. Like he's not okay. And I was like, I couldn't tell. Like we hung out a week. We watched the finale together. I couldn't tell that like he was hurt by that. Um, and then watching it on TV, I'm like, damn. Um, but I guess like yeah, if you didn't know your people you were aligned with were working against you, yeah, that would suck. But also that's Survivor. That happens to all of us. Like I don't hate Jonathan. Literally, I talked to Jonathan on the phone. Like I don't hate him. You know,
Mhm.
it's yeah. I'm not saying Joe hates me, but like it's not like I'm like, oh, Jonathan burned me. I understand why he made his decision. And I also talked to Joe after we got back and everything, and we're good. We're both good.
Mm.
And I think he's good now too. Like he's fine.
Yeah. You did not get to play with Kyle, your buddy from 48 this season. What would a Camilla Kyle alliance have looked like on 50?
Yeah, so if we did get to play with each other, I had already, I was like, I'm gonna just like if we end up on the same beach, I will announce every single time, hello, me and Kyle are getting water. Would anyone else like to join us? Or I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna get water. Somebody keep an eye on Kyle. Make sure he doesn't come follow me. Um, I know that I wouldn't be able to work with Kyle. People wouldn't let it happen. Um, and so instead of being like sneaky about it, I think it would be cool to just, be seen with him. Like tell my other close allies to work with him. Because then it just makes our group stronger. But,
Hmm.
never got to happen.
How good was the Applebee's reward? Because I mean, it made me hungry.
Okay, so I actually went and had Applebee's after that episode in 46 where Liz has like a meltdown.
Yeah.
Because I was like, okay, if she's like screaming and crying about it, it must be good. And I went and I had it and I wasn't impressed. All right. I had everything that they had on the show, the spinach and artichoke dip, mozzarella sticks, the burger, everything. And the shark bowl. Okay, I like the shark bowl because it had a little shark gummy in it. On Survivor, I was like, they put something in this Applebee's. Why does it taste so good? I couldn't stop eating. My stomach was like so distended. It was so good. It was probably the fact that we hadn't really had salt or anything with flavor up until that point. So anything with salt is going to taste tasty. But I'll say it tasted really good on the show.
Well, thank you so much, Camilla. It was a pleasure to speak with you, and I'll see you at the reunion finale, I
Yeah,
guess.
the finale. Awesome. It was nice talking to you, Marcus.
Genevieve, so you are, I believe, the first person in Survivor history to find two idols, but not be allowed to use either of them. Is there anything you'd like to say to Billie Eilish?
Why do you hate me, Billy? I love you so much. Why do you hate me? No,
Because I
I
was
don't
really,
feel like
go
I found
ahead.
two idols. I genuinely don't. I had someone congratulate me after they, like a friend of mine had watched the episode where I found the second one, and they were like, two idols, congratulations. And like I didn't want to say anything to them because obviously they don't know how it plays out, but I do. And I'm sitting there being like, I don't feel like I had two idols. I could have really used an idol, would have played an idol. Like, damn it. So yeah, say la vie.
Yeah, you unfortunately couldn't play an idol, but you did play a shot in the dark, which most people don't do that in the new era. If it had worked and you had been safe, I'm guessing there would have been a revote. Who do you think would have gone home in that case?
100% Joe.
Uh,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah. So that I think is an interesting decision point for Joe because he in his own way has a 1 in 6 to deal with there too because he knew I was going to play my shot in the dark. So on a revote, they're going to vote for him. But if it doesn't, so if I'm safe, then he wants to vote for Devin so they don't have a chance to revote. But if I'm not safe and he writes Devin's name down, you bet Jeff's pulling that out of the urn, and then he's got to go back with them knowing he wrote Devin's name down. So he has to do his own kind of 1 in 6 calc there of what's the shot in the dark going to do. But yeah, I wish it would have hit. I wish it was like April Fools, you're
Yeah.
still in Survivor, but no. Mm-mm.
Yeah, I love how this huge Blood Moon episode was on April Fools. How does it feel being a part of this huge twist? And Jeff was very enthusiastic about it. Do you think he maybe overhyped the twist?
I feel no hype right now. Do you feel hype, Marcus? I feel only depressed. Like, I did not like this twist.
Yeah.
Did you like it? Say no. Please say no.
I think Survivor has had better twists than this. I'll say that.
I have had people like in the last 12 hours say to me like here's what I think would have been better, and so I think the leading one that someone has said they thought would be interesting is instead if you went to the tribal council with 17 people and it was three successive votes with all people, so then your permutations, and if one doesn't go according to plan then you have a real live tribal and a scramble. That would have been cool to see, but we got this.
Yeah, that would have been really exciting, actually. So I have to ask about your relationship with Aubrey because it seemed like the two of you were always at odds with each other. How would you sum up, your relationship?
I feel like you summed it up perfectly. We were always at odds with each other and we could never find like the place where, the roads intersect and maybe we get on the same path. Never. And at a certain point, I realized that I could at least use that relationship as a bit of a smokescreen for other stuff and make people comfortable with me. Because if I'm targeting her, I'm not targeting you, Marcus. So like it could really help me counteract some of the perception that I was like cagey or wouldn't tell people where I was going. So that helped a little bit, but otherwise it didn't have much game utility. So it was a bit of a bummer.
But you did give Aubrey your jacket. Was that a peace offering?
I'm just a very pragmatic person, and like it had been really tense. The tribal was really uncomfortable, and so it was partially, there was never anything personal on my part, like, and also I'm going to Ponderosa, and sadly I'm not going to need it. I'm going to be very warm, drinking margaritas by the pool, and so like just it's the right thing to do because it's so cold. And that jacket, I had fought wardrobe for that jacket. It was beautiful and wool and warm, and like we are all like seagulls scavenging clothing out there, so if someone goes and they forget something, like I was wearing Kyle's little like t-shirt as like a blanket, very sad, but that's what you do in Survivor. And so I was like, yeah, they're gonna need this more than me, so I will leave it for them. And Angelina had done the exact same thing before, and I thought like, oh well, Emily is so warm and that's like such a kind thing to do, so yeah, that's
Gotcha.
my that's my Survivor legacy, leaving my jacket. Oh my god.
So fans online, they're sleuthing around trying to figure out the order of the tribal councils. Was it really Camilla first, and then you, and then Colby? Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
gotcha.
yeah.
If let's see, you went on this iconic Zach Brown reward, and there was a lot of tears, there was a lot of crying as he was playing his guitar. What do you remember most about that experience?
Oh, anytime I go to the sanctuary, I like beeline for the bucket of beers if I'm not going to tribal that night. So I remember feeling really good at the sanctuary for that reward. But really, what was more impressive is he just kept conversing as he's like filleting the fish and cooking it up, and it's a nice moment where everybody gets to pause and go, we're grateful to be here. You have that anytime you're at the sanctuary because the game is so hectic. You usually have like, you know, the sunset or the sunrise or like these little beautiful moments throughout the day where you're like, oh yeah, I'm playing Survivor and this is cool as hell and I'm lucky to be here. And that's what the sanctuary is. And that one was like that on steroids. So it was cool. But yeah, I was surprised. It got like very emotional, but you know, the wine was flowing, the beer was flowing, everybody's eating. So like, you know, on Survivor, you have a lot to cry about. People cry every day. It's like very intense.
Yeah.
So
And there are conspiracy theories that Zach Brown didn't actually catch that fish. Do you have any insight since you were there?
did he not? I have always been told that he did. Like
Okay,
there, while we were there, he said that he did. And so if he didn't catch it, I did not know that.
gotcha.
Do you think
Uh,
he caught it? What are these theories?
I
Because I'm
think
not
he
like
caught.
I'm not deep online. What?
Okay, I think he caught it. Brittany from Big Brother is doing all of these conspiracy theories saying that he didn't. It was ti saying the fish was tied down. Uh, I don't know. I'm just a viewer.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? He had like the engraved like harpoon gun or something. Like, I don't think you do that if you can't fish. You know what? Like, that would be psychotic to like
Mhm.
get all the gear and then be like, but I actually can't do that. But also, I buy a bunch of like workout gear and I don't work out. So I don't know. Who am I to say what's, you know, real and
If,
not?
so if you're not online a lot, are you aware that you have a huge gay fan base? The gay guys that watch Survivor absolutely love you. Do you know this?
Teeny has told me this. Yes, Teeny is like my connection to everything that is like cool online. And I do have a public Instagram, like just basically for the duration of this season. And I get the best fan interaction. Like I still get people being like, you're a bitch, you're fat. And it's like, but then I get cool ones that are like, yeah, that's the only reason I made the public Instagram account was specifically to connect with the cool people online that I have been able to meet. So yeah, I'm really lucky. I don't know what I did, wrong or right, but yeah.
I think it's just you.
Oh no. I'm a total train wreck. That's what people want to see? Oh my God. I get it. I watch reality TV. I get it.
We are here with the one and only Colby Donaldson. You know, Colby, you could have warned America to stock up on tissues before last night's episode. We were all in puddles.
Yeah, well, it was emotional for me too, my man. It was but by the same token, Marcus, you don't often get the opportunity to go out like that. You don't want to go out early. It sucks in every way, make no mistake. But if you got to go out, I feel very fortunate to have had, the opportunity and the platform to say thank you to all those involved, the production, Probst, everyone that was present there at Tribal. It's just rare. You normally get blindsided or things are so tense or dramatic that you just don't have that kind of opportunity. So I feel very lucky that at least if you got to go out early, you get to say a proper goodbye.
I mean, and you made it halfway. You made it to what, day 13 out of
Yeah,
26?
yeah.
Your final words at Tribal were "find the joy," and I feel like that's going to go on some t-shirts. Why was it important to go out that way with that inspirational comment?
Because it's it's easy to focus on the negative in Survivor when things aren't going your way, and there are rough days for everyone. I don't care how long you last in the game. I've played the game before where I didn't find the joy, where I instead focused on the things that weren't going right, and I regretted that after the game. And it took a lot of years to really get true perspective and look back and realize the wrong mindset I had before. So that's it. It was just to remind them that there is joy in this game, regardless of how things are going. And it may not even be with the players that you're surrounded with at the time. It could be going off on the beach by yourself at night once everybody goes to bed. But you can find joy in this game. And it's that joy that propels you. You got to find something to turn things positive when things are down. And I just didn't want them to leave and go back to camp on a sour note, because we had been very vulnerable and emotional. We were all crying at some point in that tribal council last night, and so I just wanted to send them back with something on a positive note.
Give us an update on your injury, and was it so bad that there was a possibility you could be medically evacuated?
There were two. It was crazy that we're on the same foot, but I damaged my a ligament in the challenge with Zach Brown reward, where we were pushing the boat up the beach. And so there was a torn ligament. I didn't know it was torn at the time until after the game, but that hurt, but it was something I could deal with. And it's not something that the doctors would have removed me from the game for. What was more problematic was that at some point after that challenge and after the reward, I punctured my foot somehow, same foot, which introduced some bacteria that then turned into an infection and led to a staph infection. So it's the infection at this point in the game that's much more concerning to the doctors and concerning to me. It also hurts worse than the tendon or the ligament issue I had. And that infection, they can't give you the proper antibiotics in the game. They can once you get out of the game, but you got to be out of the game to get treatment for it. So I was, as we all are, we're in constant communication with the doctors before and after each challenge and before and after tribal council. And there was a chance the doctors said, we need to treat this and it's not going to get any better while you're in the game. I knew I was going home that night. So I said, let me go to this tribal. If for some reason something weird happens and I don't get voted out, we can address the infection after that or tomorrow morning. But I said, let me go to this. And so he did. Dr. Joe let me go to tribal council and do that. To answer your question directly, I don't think I could have finished the game because of the infection. It was getting worse. Everyone around me saw it and knew how bad it was. And it's just, a staph infection is a very serious thing. And if you let that thing go unchecked for that many more days in the game, it could be a real problem.
Wow. I'm so glad you're okay today.
Yeah, all good today. Thank you.
What was your reaction to seeing Sari call you the head of the snake?
I don't know that I was the head, but I was definitely in the upper torso. I was definitely somebody that she should have been looking out for. And so, again, credit to Sari. She's always playing a smart game. She's good. She's just a good player. And I had a lot of friends. I had a lot of friends on other beaches, and she knew that. And you never pass up an opportunity when somebody is a sitting duck without a vote, and more importantly, without a shot in the dark. So I literally had no way to protect or save myself. None. And she knows that. So although they were, toggling maybe a little bit between me and coach, the smart vote was to get rid of me. And I do think in reference to what she said about the head of the snake, I know I had some influence, some would-be influence on the remaining jury members, those that I was aligned with. And so she really didn't want me sitting on that jury, if I'd made it that far. And so again, good move by her. It was the right move for Emily and Sari.
If everything was the same and you did have a vote, whose name would you have written down on that tribal?
Emily. Yeah. I mean, I would have, look, here's the deal. Coach and I still would have had our work cut out for us, right? Because we got to figure out a way to flip Emily or Sari. And I don't know. I don't even know, to be honest with you, I don't even know, Marcus, if we could have, if Sari would have done that. It would not have been smart for Sari to come with me and coach. Because again, she's already playing with Rizzo and even Devins and some other players over there, I think. She knows we're playing with Stephanie and Joe and these other players over here. So you sort of had these two factions facing off. And I don't think Sari would have gone for that. Yeah. So it's just the luck aspect of this is part of the game that all of us are aware of. You're hyper aware. You got to catch some breaks to navigate your way through this game. And there's going to be some times when you have bad luck and you don't catch breaks. It's the timing of those. It's when do those bad breaks happen? When does that misfortune take place? And do you have time to rebound from it? Drawing rocks randomly and getting put on a tribe of 5 with these particular 4 people, that's just bad luck. There's nothing I can, and the timing of it, because I don't have a vote and don't have a shot in the dark, it's a double whammy for me.
Was this your last season, or do you think you'd come back someday?
No, it was my last season. And I don't say that because I'm trying to get talked back into it. But I do believe that it's time for a lot of us from the old era to hand the baton over, and and they don't even have to be younger players, but people from the newer seasons, young and old, and players that have only been back once. It's time for those to carry the torch forward. I don't think I've done it 4 times. I don't think anybody wants to see me on the TV a 5th time on Survivor. And so I Probst and production know how I feel about them and the opportunity to come back and how proud I am. And my heart is full, and I couldn't be more content with just calling it 4. We're good at 4 for me.
All
All
right,
right, that is what they had to say. And my big takeaway from this episode was Jeff overhyping the blood moon. There was a way too long explanation for a triple eviction. Big Brother had a triple eviction, and Julie's like, we're going to eliminate 3 people. That was it. Yeah. That's all you got to do, Jeff.
I mean, he did go on too long. For a moment there, I thought when they were talking about, like, we're going to do something we've never done before, I'm like, please do not pull a Rachel Riley.
That's what I thought they
and
were
whoever
gonna do.
falls off this thing first is immediately going home. Like, that's what I thought was going to go down.
100%.
And I was like, oh, Suri is screwed. But she actually did pretty well. She was, like, in the middle of the pack in this challenge. But, yeah, way too much explaining.
Yeah. I did like how Tribal Council was sort of tinged in red. I feel like they could have even gone further with that. Like Jeff could have had a red shirt for the first time. That would have been exciting. But I mean, overall, it was a good episode. I don't want to knock it. There was no Zach Brown cameo that lasted 40 minutes.
But I was a little excited for this gigantic Tribal Council to happen.
Yeah, me too.
And then they brought it down to 3 tribes again. It was almost like a miniature tribe swap. They just happened to all live on the same beach.
Jeff loves smaller tribes, and I hate them.
It really puts some people at a disadvantage. I mean, if you're there and it's all you need is 3-2 and you're screwed. And we saw that play out in all 3 tribal councils.
Also, before we get to the tribals, we had Ozzy find the advantage, which really was an advantage because he didn't even have to go to tribal. And he's gone to every tribal so far, so good for you, Ozzy, for finding that.
And saving Rizzo. This is becoming the season of Rizzo.
Do you not like Rizzo? What's going on?
I just, like, he's the most recent former contestant there.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just feel like he's getting a lot of screen time. Is he going to win this whole thing?
I think
Wouldn't that be crazy if Rizzo, the guy who no one saw play, wins the whole thing?
I think he's going to go far, and I think the group that's kind of coalescing is going to go far. Ozzy, Suri, Rick Devens, Christian, Emily, and Rizzo. I think that 6 is going to make it possibly to the final 6. They have so many advantages within their group, and they also know where the other ones are.
And Suri will go right before tribal council like she always does.
Before the final?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be great if Suri could win, but she's got a lot stacked up against her. Applebee's returned, Denton. That's another thing where they went way too long. Jeff, I love you, Jeff.
It was a commercial. I mean, he was like, Applewood smoked bacon.
Every item got like a minute-long presentation from Jeff Probst. I mean, did it make you want to have Applebee's?
No.
It did me, so it worked. It worked on 50% of the audience.
What about the 3 that went home, though? So Camilla, I had said before at the top that, I mean, she was my dark horse to win. I thought she's the type of player that could play under the radar and go all the way to the end. That was surprising. Also the least interesting. Do you think the tribal councils happened in that order? Because they were in order of most interesting.
I wondered that because they could have totally edited it to be that way, or it could have been that way. Like, obviously the best tribal council was the last one.
Right.
When everyone was tearing up.
And the worst was Camilla, because everyone's like, okay, there goes Camilla. But she wasn't that exciting of a player. And then the second one had that Genevieve and Aubrey thing that I still don't understand. I was fascinated by it. I thought something might progress through the season with that. I still just don't understand why those 2 couldn't find some sort of common ground. I think they're the same kind of player.
I think they're 2 alpha females that are like I can't live with you in my midst. I have to get rid of you. It was a fun kind of narrative that we saw play out through the first half of the season. And Genevieve, when she was eliminated, she gave her coat to Aubrey, shades of Angelina, which I guess that was like a, hey, you're a good player. Like, what's the word I'm looking for? It was like
no.
a peace offering.
Aubrey was like, thanks, bitch, get out of here.
Thankfully, Genevieve used her shot in the dark.
Yeah.
How many times do we say, why didn't you use your shot in the dark? You knew you were going home. It didn't play out, but at least she tried. We can't fault her.
And it's only a 1 in 6 chance.
Yeah.
Like, you should use that early. Like, don't hang on to that thinking you're going to make it all the way to the end.
For Camilla's tribal council, I was really sad that she went home. I guess it was Jonathan that was the deciding vote, and she said drag that man through the mud on her way out, which I loved. But I mean, good for Jonathan for actually making a move.
Yep.
We don't really see that a lot.
And he's in good with the old school players now. So he had to make a choice. Tiffany's mad, but Tiffany hasn't proven to have much power this season. So we'll see how that plays out.
That could be the editing, because she has not been shown at all. When she does get voted out, I'm going to ask her, like, what were you doing those first 10 days? Because we never saw you.
The only thing that I've seen her do is she is like the one person that's formed a bond of some kind with Aubrey.
Yes.
So those two have something going on.
Right. And now she's working with Stephanie and Chrissy, so that'll be fun. And I guess Jonathan's now an old school player. So should we talk about the legendary Legends Tribal Council at the end with poor Colby? That was really emotional. Did you cry?
Absolutely not.
You're a robot.
I mean, I'm not into like the crying. I was totally fine with Colby going home. I think there's a lot of people at home that are probably emotional that Colby went home, like yourself. But I was like, goodbye, good riddance. Like, these are not the players that I'm interested in. Like, I'm not interested in honorable players. At that point I was like, I would rather Coach stay, honestly. I'd rather Coach stay than Colby. He's more interesting. And I did kind of like the diabolical discussion that, like, let's just get rid of Coach because Colby's going to get medevaced anyway.
I loved that.
I was like, yes, like, that's my kind of thinking.
He's a limper.
That's why I like Emily.
Yeah.
Because she's just messy.
So even when Colby turned around and said, find the joy in this game, you felt nothing?
No.
I think even Jeff started tearing up at that moment.
I mean, Jeff's become emotional with age.
He has.
So
are you saying I'm old?
I don't know. It's fine. I mean, I like Colby, and I think it was a good moment for the game, but I wasn't touched by it.
Anything else to talk about in this Blood Moon episode? Do you think people are going to be discussing the twist 10 years from now, like Jeff made it seem like they were? The answer is no.
No, I already forgot about it.
I already forgot.
The only thing that the only things I found interesting about this episode really were the fact that Rizzo seems to be gaining a lot of power, and Cirie continues to get what she wants. Those other people in her little five wanted Coach gone. Dee and Emily wanted Coach gone, and Cirie was like, "Do you want the tail or the head of the snake?" So it was Cirie once again getting her way, and that continues to fascinate me in all of these games that she plays.
I could see that coming around to bite her if Dee and Emily decide, one day to get rid of Cirie. This moment could be, look what she made us do, the thing we didn't want to do. Like, we got to get rid of her now.
Yeah. It does also continue to feel like a men's season. Even this, I mean, we've seen people complaining about that, but even this episode was very geared towards, like, it was a lot of Jonathan.
Yeah.
Christian's still getting a lot of airtime, and I'm not complaining.
No, he's the hero of the season.
He is the best thing that they have going. So,
well, that's what we thought of Survivor. And there's another show we wanted to talk about, American Idol, one of our favorites here at Gold Derby. They had some elimination drama in the first live episode. What happened, Denton?
A little kerfuffle. So they, first of all, there was like a bloodbath at the beginning. They went from 20 to 14. They're like, okay, you six, get out of here. We don't want you anymore. And then they're all going to perform songs of faith, because what better to do after crushing six people's dreams than to praise God? So they do that. And then they're like, okay, we're going to get rid of two more. And they're doing real-time voting. They have this new way of voting now where you can just type someone's name, and it's supposed to count as a vote. But if you can't spell their name properly, it doesn't count.
It doesn't count. Or if you reply to someone else's comment, it doesn't count.
Right.
Or if you do a list of names, only the first one counts. So there's a lot of like little tech issues with this.
And so, knowing that, should we be surprised that 3 of the eliminated contestants were Genevieve, Makaya, and Abayomi? Like the 3 people that are like not the most common names to spell, and then like
That's a good
Chris
point.
is safe.
That's a really good point.
So anyway, we get to the end of the episode, and they're like, "Okay, well, like we're overwhelmed with all of these votes. We don't know what to do. We don't know how to handle it. So we're just not going to eliminate these other 2 people. They're going to have to just rehearse for the next week and work their asses off, and then we'll tell them next Monday, yeah, you're not going to be singing that song that you just worked so hard on. You're just going to go home now." So
Yeah, I mean,
they'll just get cut at the top of next week.
Watching it live, I was kind of like, okay, something happened and they're not telling us the truth. I don't think it was just a simple, we're still counting the votes. I think maybe there was like maybe an issue. Conspiracy theory, Marcus, there was an issue with the Facebook or the TikTok or the Instagram or something. Maybe they didn't even get the votes in time. Something was going on.
Maybe they weren't counting them properly, or the
whatever
person
mess.
counting was like, "Oh, I forgot about Facebook." Like, who knows?
Yeah.
But I did get I reached out. We got confirmation. They are doing the real-time vote again next Monday. So at the top of the episode, those 2 people who should have gone Monday will be eliminated. And then at the end of the episode, they're just going to get rid of 1 person. So they're going from 12 to 11, which is a very small little baby cut.
Real quick, who do you want to win American Idol?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I had early favorites. I really liked Brooks, but I think he needs to like get his personality together.
He needs media training.
He has the most unique, interesting voice, and someone needs to just grab him and be like, you can win this. Like, you have got to get it together because you are the star in the making from this season. And instead, it feels like Hannah Harper's sort of walking away with it.
With the doll dress. She was dressed up like a baby doll.
Yeah.
I think Brooks is the one I'm rooting for, but again, he's got to do something a little bit more when he's not singing. Like, his personality needs like an overhaul. Sorry, Brooks. We love you, but talk more.
And then I think there's a lot of great singers that maybe just aren't standing out. Keela has a great story. She's definitely a front runner. But then there's people like Jordan, who I think is one of the best voices, but he's not really as memorable as a performer.
And finally, we wanted to mention the Masked Singer finale. Tell us who, spoiler alert, we're going to say who won the Masked Singer.
Well, Galaxy Girl took it home in the end and revealed herself. The final clue was Jessica Simpson walks out to be like, I'm so proud of you. So then obviously the reveal is Ashley Simpson is Galaxy Girl. And then she was not talking to anyone about her win. But Picasso, who got second place, was talking, and he spoke to me. And it's Philip Phillips, and he said they got it wrong.
I love that.
And the whole thing was rigged.
And he wasn't joking.
He was kind of serious. Like, he had like a little... He did end up saying, like, Ashley deserves it. But he was kind of like, yeah, like...
He's used to winning after winning American Idol.
Yeah.
He
should have won.
Yeah.
Like, his performance of Susudio was the best performance of the whole season, and he delivered that on finale night. He absolutely should have won. I don't know what the rules are. I mean, it's in-studio voting. What can you trust?
And when we were there, we didn't get to vote. Our whole section didn't get the little, the clicker things. So...
I feel like there's been a lot of seasons where the bigger star beats a better singer.
Yeah.
And I think they just kind of sometimes take the most popular person and say, you're going to win.
I do love that Ashley Simpson is out there singing again, because remember when she was on Saturday Night Live and she was caught lip syncing and she like did the little dance off the stage?
She spoke about that. She was really good on the show. Yeah. So I'm not taking anything away from her. She was really good on the show.
Well, thank you, everybody, for watching Reality Derby. We will see you next week for more coverage. Should I do that again?
No.